Greetings everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got another police interaction to review with you today that didn't quite meet the criteria for an episode of ATA. So here it is. I've got a few ideas for different types of content coming up on this channel, so be sure to check back here later if you're interested in some content that's a little bit different from the traditional formula. But for now, let's just focus on the interaction we have at hand and we'll just jump right into it. So on January 9th of 2023, Officer Jonathan Salcedo. On January 9th of 2023, Officer Jonathan Salcedo of the Lordsburg Police Department initiated a traffic stop on East Motel Drive on the north side of town. As Officer Salcedo was conducting his stop, a Dodge Charger passed by and the officer motioned for the driver to slow down. The driver ignored the officer's hand signal and appeared to actually speed up. And this prompted Officer Salcedo to abandon the traffic stop that he was on and pursue this vehicle. And this is where the interaction starts, so let's just roll the video.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? How are you telling someone to slow down while you're in a fucking traffic stop, bud?
What are you getting aggressive for?
Why are you? Do you know who the fuck I am?
Who are you?
Don't worry about it. You're in front of my fucking property. That's where the fuck we're at.
What's your name, man?
Don't worry about it. Run the fucking plate.
Well, I just did.
Alright, and what did it come back to?
Well, I don't know. I haven't done my returns yet.
Do your fucking returns,
man.
Make sure your supervisor get here.
I don't need a supervisor.
You don't. You sure?
We're just gonna talk.
You sure?
Dude, calm
call
down.
Aaron. I'm not.
Why do you want me to call Aaron?
Call Aaron. I'm telling you, call Aaron. You want to play this game, dude?
I'm not. Hold on.
What did you pull me over for?
Okay.
What was the probable cause?
Traffic stop.
Yes, and you're telling me to slow down. How do you know I'm speeding?
Are you done?
No. How do you know I'm speeding?
Dude, you literally revved your engine and took off in front of me.
Because you did this. Because you did this, right?
Yeah, I said slow down.
So how do you know I was speeding?
Because, dude, you took off right in front of me.
How do you know I was speeding?
Dude, you literally took off
you're
right
not in your fucking car to tell me if I'm speeding or not. Why are you stopping me?
Alright, so what this basically comes down to is whether or not an officer can visually estimate your speed. And this is an interesting point that has surprisingly little case law. You'd think that whether or not an officer could visually estimate speed would be something that would come up quite often in court, but for whatever reason, there are only a few cases that even made it to the circuit court level. And there have been no cases that made it to the Supreme Court as far as I'm aware. And I wasn't able to find any cases that would directly apply to New Mexico. But I did find a few cases in the Fourth Circuit that I'm sure a higher court would consider if they were ruling on this issue. So I think it's important to talk through those cases and just give you an idea of how a court might view this situation. Alright, so first we have the case of the United States versus Sowards. Sowards was pulled over after an officer visually estimated that he was going 75 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour zone. Now, although the officer's patrol car was equipped with a radar, the officer had intentionally parked his patrol car at an angle that basically rendered the radar useless. The court eventually ruled that the officer's uncorroborated estimation of the speed, especially when the speed was minimal, like going 5 miles over the speed limit, was not enough to establish probable cause. The court emphasized the need for some kind of corroborating evidence, like radar or pacing methods or something to that effect. And they basically concluded that an officer has to have some kind of supporting evidence along with their visual estimation in order for the estimation to be considered reliable in court. But before you get too excited, they made another ruling about 2 months later, which added an interesting twist to this logic. In the case of United States versus Mubdi, the court concluded that an officer actually did have probable cause to make a stop based on visually estimating speed, but only because he had been trained specifically on how to estimate speed visually. In this case, Mubdi was stopped because 2 officers had visually estimated his speed using a method that they had learned as part of a radar certification course. This certification included specific training and scientific methods on how to determine someone's speed by just visual estimation. And in the case, the officers were able to point to specific targets and certain methods that they used in order to come to this conclusion. But the point is that officers were able to use their training as that additional corroborative evidence that they need in order for a visual estimation of speed to be considered probable cause. So what this boils down to is that if an officer has been specifically trained on how to look at a vehicle and determine how fast it is going, then there's a strong chance that that will be admissible in court and they will not need additional radar data or any kind of other supporting evidence. It's pretty safe to assume that pretty much any officer who has a radar in their vehicle has been certified to use it. If they weren't, then their radar data would be practically useless in court. An officer lacking certification would be the first thing that an attorney would attack in a courtroom setting. And it's a little bit disheartening, but I do believe that we'll probably see a trend of more officers using their training as corroborative evidence for visual estimations of speed. These cases are kind of setting that precedent for future cases. So back to the interaction at hand, if Officer Saucedo, I'm probably going to say his name like 50 different times during this video, just bear with me. But if the officer had received any kind of training or certification on radar or visually estimating speed, then there's a good chance he did have reasonable suspicion to make this traffic stop based on this visual estimation alone. These types of legal nuances are why it's so important to not fight your battles on the street, because oftentimes there are these legal loopholes and certain precedents that can be used in favor of the officer. But anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that radar data is not necessarily a requirement to make a stop legitimate based on speed. So that's just something to consider while you're driving out there on the roads. But anyway, let's get back into the video and see how this goes.
Because you're speeding. Okay,
How did you track that? How did you track it? How did you track it?
I was honestly gonna let you go with the verbal.
Dude, get Aaron, man.
Go step out, dude. I'm not playing
games. Step out for what?
Just step out so I can talk to you over here, man. Step out.
Okay. Get some supervisor here, man. Who's on duty today?
Me, Aaron, and Shepard.
Yeah, all right, get Aaron then.
I don't need Aaron here.
All right,
I'll talk to you here. You have your license?
No, I'm not giving. I do.
You have your license, brother?
So you're not asking me for nothing else?
I'm asking for your license.
For what?
Registration.
For what?
Your insurance.
For what?
Because the reason why I'm pulling you over
Go
for
ahead.
speeding.
You don't. How did you track me speeding?
Dude,
you're not in your fucking car. You were outside, right? Call Aaron, motherfucker. Fucking dumbass. I don't need this camera. I got your camera. Don't worry about it.
That's alright, brother.
It's alright. You'll figure out. Have a seat.
Yeah, just have a seat.
No, I'm standing right here, man.
I don't know why you're acting dumb with me, dude. I'm just trying
to
do my
How am I acting dumb with you? You abandoned your traffic stop to come pull me the fuck over, right?
Yeah, dude, because you're hauling butt, dude.
Alright, so this is another interesting point. Nate seems to take issue with the fact that the officer had abandoned his previous traffic stop in order to initiate this one. But the truth is, this just comes down to a matter of officer discretion. And like we've talked about on many episodes of ATA, officers have a lot of discretion to do their job how they see fit. They have essentially unfettered leeway to initiate and terminate any kind of stop at any time. And just because an officer pulls you over doesn't mean that they're legally obligated to give you a ticket or anything like that. So long as the stop does actually serve a legitimate legal purpose, of course. Officers are not allowed to just go around randomly stopping people for no reason. But they can terminate those stops pretty much at any time. And in my opinion, it seemed fair to abandon the traffic stop. It's pretty clear to me that the individual he originally stopped was much less of a threat to the community than a guy who the officer thinks is speeding and made it a point to actually speed up more once he saw the officer. And I mean, look, speeding is speeding. The guy that was originally stopped probably should have gotten a ticket. But I totally understand abandoning the stop to address something that may have been a bigger threat at the time. I mean, in my opinion, it's totally legitimate for the officer to assume that Nate might have been intoxicated, emotionally disturbed, or a host of other things that contributed to his poor driving in that moment. I mean, let's set aside the scope of authority for a moment. If you're dealing with one thing and another thing comes up that's more pressing, of course you're going to devote your attention to the other thing. In this situation, the officer was attending his duties and noticed a more pressing duty to be attended, and that's what he went and did. So I don't think abandoning the traffic stop is really relevant in any way, shape, or form for this encounter. And as a matter of fact, I think it was completely reasonable. So anyway, let's jump back into the video.
You abandoned your traffic.
How about you just back up?
Now we're in front of my fucking property.
Okay, I don't care if it's your property or not.
But now why are you so afraid?
I'm not afraid,
Why are you making me back up?
Just back up, man.
Okay.
You're raising your hands and you're getting
I'm raising my hands. I'm from Philly. Ask Aaron. He'll tell you. That's just how I talk.
Okay.
Well, you're a little bitch.
Dude, okay, man. It's whatever. So you have your license on you?
When your supervisor gets here.
Okay, well, he'll come.
All right.
I'm pretty sure he'll tell you the same thing too.
No, I mean, when he gets here, we'll see, because you don't have a reason to pull me over.
Dude, you hauled butt going past me.
How did you track the speed? How did you track the speed?
Okay.
How did you track? What was the speed limit right there? What's the speed limit right
That's
there? 45.
40.
45.
40.
Where's
Dude,
the 40 mile an hour
I do this for a living.
sign?
Sit down.
Dude, you're brand new.
Okay. Whatever
You're
you
brand
say.
new.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, you're new.
Yes, sir.
You'll figure it out real quick.
Yes, sir. I will.
Oh, man.
Makes you big and bad, right?
Makes me big and bad? How's it make me big and bad? How's it make me big and bad?
You
don't even have a reason to fucking pull me over,
You're a street attorney. You're good, brother.
I'm an attorney?
Yeah, you're acting like one, so.
What? I'm an attorney? All right. All right. You still didn't run the plate yet.
I ran the plate.
So what did it come back to?
I don't know, because I didn't get my returns yet.
Then you'll figure out why you haven't run.
Okay. That's cool, man.
You just don't make any sense, dude.
I don't.
How do you abandon a traffic stop? And this is what you did. And when you did this, that gave me even the more of a fucking power to go, because if you're not inside your car, you can't tell me to slow the fuck down outside.
Alright, so here Nate essentially admits to speeding up when the officer was signaling him to slow down, which pretty much legitimizes this stop on basically every level. And this statement alone is why you should never waste your time arguing with the police, because chances are you're just going to end up incriminating yourself in some way, shape, or form and get lost in the sauce emotionally. It's just way too easy to slip up and say the wrong thing and end up paying for it. The speeding up could be an offense on its own, and it kind of makes the whole speeding argument irrelevant, because chances are the officer would have had reasonable suspicion to stop Nate based on just him speeding up right in front of him like that. That could certainly be considered reckless. If nothing else, it was certainly grounds to warrant a stop and further investigation. I mean, that's just not something that normal people do. And whenever you do things out of the ordinary that could be criminal in nature, you're essentially handing officers reasonable suspicion on a silver platter. Nate also says that the officer can't stop him unless he's in his vehicle, which is simply not true at all. Officers don't have to be anywhere in particular. If they witness some kind of suspicious activity, they're within their authority to investigate that. Can you imagine if officers were not allowed to stop crime if they were already engaging in stopping crime? Imagine an officer has someone pulled over for some minor traffic violation, and then someone is shooting across the street, but they can't attend to that because they're busy with a traffic stop. See, the logic doesn't really make sense there. But going back to remaining silent, which was the point I was trying to make, nothing that Nate says throughout this interaction is going to be beneficial to him within a courtroom. And getting angry with the police is almost never going to help your situation. So Nate would have been much better off keeping his emotions in check, saying as little as possible, and then following up this interaction with a complaint or a lawsuit if he felt as though his rights were violated in some way. But I talk about remaining silent all the time. I'm not going to take up too much of your time on this one, so let's just jump back into the video.
Who the fuck you think you are?
Whatever you say.
Fucking rookie, man.
Yep.
How long you been a cop for? Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna get all your information.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Cool. Jonathan Salcedo, number 35, Lordship Police Department.
All right, cool.
All right?
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Stupid, man. You
yeah,
just wasted your own fucking time.
It is, right? You didn't have to speed, and I was honestly gonna let you go with the verbal, dude. That's all.
I wasn't. Did I slow down? Did I hold on?
Back up.
Did I do it? Did I do it?
Dude. I'm not playing games, dude.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
How do you want me to talk to you?
Well, relax, dude. That's all you gotta do.
You pulled me over for no valid reason.
I didn't come over here acting like a douchebag towards you, huh?
You told me to get out the fucking car.
Dude, because you're starting to act stupid. I'm like, come here and talk to me.
Get out the... You think that I want to hurt you, dude? Are you fucking stupid? I live in this fucking community.
I don't care.
I don't give a fuck either then. Fuck you, man. You're stupid, man. Like, you're gonna... I'm telling you, man. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time.
Okay, man. That's okay.
You just... Like, you don't even have a real reason to pull me over.
You were speeding.
You were standing... So how'd you track my speed, sir? How'd you track my speed?
You were just speeding, man.
But how did you track my speed?
I don't know.
You don't. So how are you gonna, if you write me a ticket, how are you gonna fight this in court?
Like I said, I was gonna just give you a verbal, dude. But you wanted to get all dumb and stupid.
So I got all dumb and stupid?
Yeah. You started going crazy. Oh, you're stupid. You're calling me all kinds of shit.
Because I just watched you abandon your traffic stop.
Yeah. So what makes you think I can't come pull you over?
So what that person was speeding, right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why
I was gonna give him a verbal too, dude.
And you did let him go?
Yeah, and I did. And I was gonna dude.
So if I was speeding, why wasn't I going already? How did I let you catch me if I was speeding?
You took off right in front of me, dude. Don't try to play these
because
games.
you did. Why did you do this? Why did you do this?
To tell you to slow down.
So is that going to show you in the video when you did this?
Yeah, because I was recording the whole time.
But why did you do this?
To tell you to slow down. You were already
You
speeding.
can't tell me to slow down.
Okay.
You have someone pulled over.
Okay.
So how did you
just jump in your car? I'm done.
No, you just told me to
jump in your car. Jump in your car.
Where's your supervisor at?
He's not coming. So just jump in your car. Have a good day, man. I'll deal with you later.
Alright, so the interaction ends there, and I just want to say once more that officers do have the discretion to handle traffic stops pretty much however they see fit. As you can see from the video, Nate was eventually let go without any kind of ticket or anything like that, and I suspect that the officer didn't give Nate a ticket because he didn't want to deal with the courtroom battle that would likely come after that. Personally, I think he probably should have given Nate a ticket if he really believed that he was speeding to the degree of abandoning a traffic stop to pursue him, and it also seemed like he did have all the evidence necessary to issue a citation, but officers are people too, and I highly doubt this officer wanted to spend his day in a traffic court sometime in the future. So at certain points through the video, you may have noticed that Nate referred to a bunch of the Lordsburg officers by their first name. And this got me curious. I was thinking that maybe he was related to someone within the department, and that might have been why he knew everyone so well. So I decided to call the Lordsburg Police Department to get some more information about this, and they informed me that he is not related to anyone on the department, and that they have a very, very small department. As little as 2 officers on shift at any given time. So it's safe to say that everyone knows everyone in the Lordsburg community, and that's kind of how they know each other. And this was kind of verified because Nate has a few other videos of him interacting with members of the Lordsburg Police Department, and it seems like they have a bit of a frenemy relationship. But overall, I think Nate handled this interaction pretty poorly. I get a certain level of animosity towards authority in general. There are certainly people out there who are rebellious in their nature, and I don't fault Nate for having that perspective, but I do think it would be beneficial to him to reconsider how he decides to approach that animosity in the future. And personally, I don't think starting battles with the police for no reason is a good idea. I heard this quote a long time ago when I was in journalism school that really resonates with this encounter, and it goes something like, questioning authority is a healthy thing to do, but an unyielding defiance can leave us blind to wisdom. And I think that sort of encapsulates the main lesson of this encounter, which is that it's okay to be anti-police, anti-authority, but you have to channel that passion in a productive way. And choosing to battle the police every time you encounter them or see them is not a healthy way to live. And it's not a healthy way to express yourself. There are appropriate channels and appropriate actions that can lead to change. If you don't like the system how it is currently set up, you have the power to do something about it. And that power isn't derived from interacting with police on the side of the street. That power comes from changing the protocols, laws, and precedents that these officers use to justify their actions. So rather than expending your energy arguing with police on a public sidewalk, it may be more beneficial to raise funds for a campaign against police brutality, or support a local candidate that aims to change the way policing is done. Policing is an ongoing thing that we have to work on as a society. It's up to us as a nation to dictate how we want to be policed. It's going to take a long time to fix this problem with policing, and it's going to have to happen at many different levels. And while having boots on the ground and people who are willing to stand up for their rights is an important aspect of that, it's not the only thing to consider. So I'll leave you with that. Like I said, I have more content ideas coming, and I would sincerely appreciate it if you would stick around to check them out. As always, your support is also appreciated. But that's all I've got for you today. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.